Hello, everyone. Welcome for those who are joining us to our South Fresno CSC meeting. I see we still have quite a few folks coming in, so we'll just give it a couple more minutes before we get started. But feel free to ask any questions if you have them.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the 54th CSC meeting.
But also, I don't know how.
Hi, everyone. Can y'all see my screen? Correct screen? Got it. Great. So I think we can go ahead and get started. I see we do have several members of the CSC as well as Air District and CARB teams. So good evening, everyone, and welcome again to our 54th South Fresno CSC meeting. We hope that you and your loved ones have been staying safe and dry during this intense rainy season. My name is Liz, and I am joined here tonight by my colleagues and co-facilitators, Amy and Michaela, who are both from the Harder & Company facilitation team. As usual, we will be working behind the scenes to take attendance, offer technical assistance and general support to ensure that everyone is able to engage fully in tonight's meeting. And if at any point you're having trouble with Zoom or the translation, or if you have any questions in general, please feel free to message any one of us and we are happy to help. Before we open it up for welcome and introductions, we'll take a few minutes to walk through our usual housekeeping slides. So on my screen, I am showing you a slide that you are likely familiar with. We do have new folks joining in, so what you are seeing is the instructions for how to select your language interpretation channel. So I believe I will now pass it to Tanya to help walk us through how to select that channel.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. This is a reminder, and for those of you who are new, we are providing simultaneous Spanish interpretation for this meeting. So if you are joining with the computer, you will see a globe at the bottom of your screen. Please select the English channel. If you're joining with a cell phone or a tablet, your options will be a little different. You need to tap your screen, select the three dots that you see at the bottom of your screen, usually on the right-hand side, and then you see the options for more. Then you need to select language interpretation, select English, and then select done. Yeah, that way you can hear any communication from Spanish into English. Now I'm going to give my instructions in Spanish. Buenas tardes a todos, bienvenidos nuevamente. Este es un recordatorio de que estamos proveyendo interpretación simultánea al español para aquellas personas que tal vez no están familiarizadas. Si ustedes ingresaron utilizando una computadora, van a ver el icono de un mundo en la parte de abajo de su pantalla. Por favor, seleccione el canal de español. Si usted ingresó utilizando un teléfono móvil o una tableta, va a tocar su pantalla, va a buscar los tres puntitos que diga más o more, seleccione interpretación de idioma o language interpretation, seleccione español y por último el botón que diga done, listo o finalizado, y también pueden seleccionar la opción que dice silenciar el audio original. De esa manera solo van a escuchar una voz y no van a escuchar dos voces a la vez. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tanya. Is everyone able to get into their interpretation channel, or is anyone having any issues before we move on? And if you do have issues, again, feel free to send a message. So moving on, here you are seeing our renaming convention, which is important for our attendance tracking and stipend distribution process. Members of the facilitation team and the Air District will be working behind the scenes to help with renaming and again with any other technical difficulties. So you might see your Zoom name be changed at some point throughout the meeting. Please feel free to reach out to any one of us, again, if you're having trouble with that. We have another reminder here about the renaming conventions. So if you are not a member of the CSC, we ask that you write your organization in your Zoom name. And if you are a member of the public, we ask that you put a P in front of your name. And for CSC members and residents, you would put a CSC in front of your Zoom name. So moving to our virtual meeting etiquette, please make sure to stay muted unless you are speaking. If you are joining by the phone, you can press *6 to mute and unmute yourself. If you have any questions or thoughts that you would like to share, we ask that you raise your Zoom hand. And if you're on the phone, you can do that by pressing *9. And a reminder to our residents who participate in the stipend program, we ask that you stay on for at least 75% of the meeting, which is 90 minutes out of the 2 hours we have together. So this slide is a review of our group agreements. So everyone in this meeting has agreed to help achieve the meeting goals by focusing on solutions, opportunities, and productive dialogue. We want to make sure that we are creating space for everyone to participate. We ask for everyone to be kind and respectful, knowing that it's okay to disagree as long as we do so with respect and empathy. In these meetings, we also agreed to stay on point and on time. So we ask that you try to keep your comments brief so that everyone can have a chance to participate. If we seem to be running over time for a certain agenda item, we will then ask the CSC whether you would like to resolve or table the conversation for another future meeting, or if you would prefer to continue tonight. Next, we also agreed to attack the problem and not the person. And then finally, we agreed to seek common ground. Building consensus and finding shared values will help us achieve the best results. And so here is the agenda for tonight's meeting. As a reminder, the agenda topics are representative of what was requested by CSC members, which comes through the previous CSC meetings, as well as those agenda setting meetings. Given the time and limitations of these meetings, we're not always able to fit in all of the desired topics. But for this evening, our agenda is designed to provide updates as usual on action items, as well as sharing important updates on recent CERT progress, including updates on residential air filtration, electric school buses, and school air filtration. Then we will move on to our quarterly CSC planning activity. Then we will move to standing updates with one main update from the truck reroute subcommittee. And then we will wrap up with action items, next steps, and public comment. So I'll stop sharing my screen. And would just like to welcome everyone again to tonight's meeting. As you saw, we do have a busy agenda, but we are excited to be able to spend that time, most of that time, engaging in discussion together. We would like to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy days to be here. We want to acknowledge again that this work is not easy, but it is because of you and your commitment to this work and continuing to show up that your community will be able to develop and implement these new strategies to continue monitoring air quality and then help reduce those health impacts. And so I would like to move us to some opening remarks. You may have noticed we do not have a co-host for this evening, but we do actually have the University of Davis research team here who asked if they could introduce one of their new team members who will be joining our meetings moving forward. And so with that, I think I will pass it to Peter and his team for some of those introductions.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Peter Nguyen. I'm a grad student at UC Davis, and thank you to Liz and the Harding Co Company and also the Air District for giving us a little bit of time to introduce ourselves and put our faces to our names. But we're part of UC Davis, part of a study that I do with Professor Jonathan London. You've probably seen my name pop up a lot in the past couple years at these meetings. But our intent is to observe and study, how AB 617 is going, specifically going into the implementation phase, and just really understanding at all these different community steering committee meetings, how that's going, how the process is going overall. And we have a new undergrad assistant joining us, so we wanted to introduce her to the CSC, just to give a face to who we are and what we're here for. So I'll let Sagan introduce herselves, and I'll pop my email in the chat just in case if anyone has any questions for me or about our study. But yeah, I'll pass it to Sagan.
Hello, yeah, pretty much what Peter said. I'm a fourth year student at UC Davis studying community and regional development. And I recently joined the team to look at Fresno. I'm also from the Central Valley, so the topic is very important to me. So I'm excited to be here and observe. And thank you for having us.
Thank you both for giving a little bit of that background and introducing yourselves. And with that, I would like to invite Ryan, who will be joining us and representing the Air District tonight for some opening remarks.
Yeah, I'll keep it very brief tonight. Thanks a lot, Liz. Appreciate everybody being here tonight, and thanks Peter and Sagan. Welcome. Yeah, just looking forward to the conversation and planning out all the future meetings to make them very productive conversations. Thanks.
Thank you. So we can move along with our agenda for tonight. So as you all know, part of our work together is to increase transparency and accountability, which is why we continue to dedicate time in our agendas to review the action item tracker with the Community Steering Committee. So we appreciate the Air District's efforts to continuously update that tracker to help ensure that your voices are heard and that you are able to actively monitor the progress that's being made towards implementing your suggestions. As a reminder, at the end of every meeting, we share those action items and encourage any members to add anything that was missed. For this agenda item, as Stephanie provides updates, we do invite you to ask for a clarification or provide any modifications. Our team will take note of any follow-up questions if there are any, and we will make sure to return to them at a future meeting. One note is for those of you who have attended the last couple meetings, we've been trying a new approach where we are providing members of the public with space after each action item to provide feedback instead of having to wait until the end of the meeting to do so. So we continue to encourage the public to be engaging in the process as well. So with that, I will pass it off to Stephanie to walk us through.
Thank you so much, Liz. This is Stephanie, and welcome everyone. I hope you're all doing well this evening. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And like Liz said, this is just a routine check-in on some of the action items that we had come out of the last meeting. And as I think all of you know, these are broken up by in-progress items and complete ones. So I'll go over the in-progress ones first. The first is the CSC will continue discussion of the membership renewal process at tonight's meeting. And so we did want to provide an update that we had the recruitment subcommittee meeting in February on the 21st. We really appreciate everyone that came and provided really robust feedback at that presentation. It's all on a Jamboard. If folks are still interested in participating, I can drop that Jamboard into the chat and folks can continue to add. But based on the feedback that we had during that meeting, we'll plan to open applications next Monday and have them open for a 3-week period. And we'll plan to work with the CSC and also CBOs just on outreach. And on Monday, we'll go ahead and we're working on putting together an email. So we'll go ahead and email kind of the recruitment materials, the flyer, and all of these details out to the CSC. The next pending item we have came out of the CARB enforcement presentation, and there was a request to bring the mobile air monitoring van to the next heavy duty truck enforcement event. And so we will work with CARB to bring the air monitoring van to a future heavy duty truck enforcement event. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the completed items. And the first is the Air District invites anyone with questions about the membership process to reach out. And so please feel free. We've listed our email, but I think many folks know, also Ryan, myself, Jess, we're all available to answer questions. The Air District will develop a brief memo to share with the CSC that explains the process behind the membership renewal process and CSC member transitions. And so we did have this summarized in the email that went out about the membership renewal process. And so we've linked that here. These next couple of items are also related to the CARB enforcement presentation. The first is that the CARB will incorporate CSC feedback into future enforcement events. And so CARB has, we reached out and they provided these responses, and CARB will seek CSC input ahead of their fall peaks deployment, and will plan to incorporate feedback such as starting the deployment later in the day. Additionally, there was a question about how many peaks are in service. And so CARB does have 4 mobile systems and 2 stationary systems located in Riverside County. And they do plan to install 9 other stationary systems throughout California, including in the San Joaquin Valley. Additionally, there was a comment just about out of that presentation, ensuring that the communication about the results of the enforcement event are kept in context and not misconstrued. And so CARB did take note of those comments as well. This next item, Air District will follow up with the CSC on new gas burning laws in California. And as a response to this, the district isn't aware of any current or planned laws that will impact our fireplace replacement SERP initiative. And a couple more here. Air District will provide CSC with specific services and resources offered to residents for the wood burning fireplace replacement initiative. And so we do have a website for all of this information, including just the application, all of our retailers, and also options to decommission the device. And we linked that here. And finally, the Air District invites the CSC to review the final slide of the SERP presentation. And just as a follow-up to it, we actually did summarize the last slide into a survey to get feedback from the CSC, which we will continue discussing tonight. I do have also one final announcement for folks. We did kind of in line with the membership renewal process. One of the questions that folks might remember is the district is wanting to test out a new text notification system. And so some of you might remember a question of opting into a text service. And so we are about to kick that off. And we just wanted to give folks a heads up of that you might receive this text if you did sign up for it. And we just also wanted to let folks know just a little bit about it. And so as you do get this text message, we just encourage you to save that number into your contacts. That way, it doesn't get stuck in anything weird like a spam box. Also, we wanted to let folks know that this is one-way communication. So if you did have questions, we ask that you still reach out to us via email or just directly to us. Don't reply to this text because we won't see it. And then you can always reply stop to it if you don't want to receive these messages anymore. And finally, we just added some pictures. This is what it'll look like. There's a text that you'll get, and there'll be a link. And if you follow a link, you'll kind of get that full message. And with that, I know that was a lot of information, but I'm happy to take any questions that folks may have, starting with Ivanka.
Thanks, Stephanie. For the text, you said we had to sign up to it. It wasn't automatically going to go to CSC members, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
As a response, we there was like a little question and you're opting into it. Although, and just in this first announcement, we wanted to let folks know that it's going to happen. So if you don't get this text message, we'll come back next meeting and check in, and then we'll see, if you didn't get that message and you still want to be in, or if now you didn't sign up, just feel free to let us know and we'll add you to the list. And we also want to be cognizant. We don't want to spam your phone with lots of messages. This is going to be meeting reminders and potentially like particular AB 617 events. It's not going to be like a text message every day.
Thank you.
Stephanie, I do have one follow-up question for you. So for folks that are already on your email server and part of the CSC committee, will this message that you get via text be any different than what comes via email?
For the folks that are signed up for our Gov delivery service, it will be like probably a truncated message, just a quick reminder that the meeting is happening.
Thank you.
Lisa, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know, as of Monday, I will be reapplying once again, because if I was good enough for 2 years, I don't know why I'm not good enough now. Also, to let everybody know that I did receive a letter from legal from the Air District, which was not only insufficient, but also had a lot of erroneous information. And I will be getting back to the legal department because they have yet to contact me in regards to the complaints I believe I filed. So somehow they just don't want to deal with that. Anyway, I just want to give you guys all an update in, being transparent. Thank you. Oh, and also too, thanks to all the folks that work over at, what is it called? The fireplace folks who come out in the middle of the night to try to find people. They've been really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all of that, Lisa. I know the committee is always interested in hearing your updates, and it's good to hear that the fireplace people have been